Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. Today I heard on the news that there's an encampment that is getting out of control, and it's right off of Park Street in Alameda, but it's in Oakland. So gas is $4.29 for the cheap stuff, $4.67 for the good stuff, and $4.79 for diesel. Well, I'm here right at Park Street, and I'm just about ready to go across the Park Street Bridge. But the reason we're getting out here today is I brought the drone with me, but I really got to be careful flying the drone in Oakland, so we might not be able to get the drone up. So we'll have to just play that by ear. But anyway, we're going to go over there and maybe just do a couple drive-bys. I don't know if I can get out of the car because I do, like I said, have the drone on me. But here, I think the bridge has just gone up. So whenever you live in Alameda, you have to deal with bridge traffic. So every, well, I don't know, hour or so, the bridge goes up and all this traffic starts. But today I'm filming on the DJI Action 5. So I don't have very much zoom-in capabilities. I might take my phone out and do a little zooming. I don't know. But we're on our way to Oakland. But usually I like to start this video out with, you know, just a little outside shot, me walking out to the camera. But Alameda is so busy today, there was no place for me to get out of the camera. Or out of the car, I should say, to film on camera. But anyway, let's just look around here for a minute as I'm sitting in traffic. And if you want a car that is, looks like a 2017 Range Rover, that's going to cost you $22,988 right here at Diamond Auto Sales. But this is what you get when you live in the island of Alameda. Is a whole bunch of traffic, but after you get across that bridge, it usually clears up. But you can see today it is a hazy day in the bay, and that's what I like to see when I'm flying that drone. I don't want to see that flag going too hard, so we'll play it by ear. If I can get that drone in the air, I will. But like I said, in Oakland, it's just pretty dangerous over there. So that's why I like to just stay in my car and film from the car. But I did look on Google Maps, and there is a like a grocery store, and behind the grocery store, believe it or not, is some parking. So this thrift store, the Salvation Army, that gets a lot of people coming into that. But like I said, this traffic usually clears up, but when a ship comes through, well, some of these boats are as big as ships, but when a boat comes through, this drawbridge has to lift up. So that's why you get so much traffic in Alameda. We're here at Coffee Cultures, and it looks like one of those, what do you call those things where they come in and they refurbish the neighborhood? Oh, regentrification. So maybe they're regentrifying this with their Coffee Cultures. So let's roll down the window and see if we can get a little ambiance. I always like the sound of the bridge, but if you look real hard, there's one of those people inside Coffee Cultures. You know, one of those culture people. Oh, he just moved his head as soon as I said that. All right. Maybe he knew I was filming. But one of these days, I'd like to come get this bridge in action going up and see the full drawbridge, get out on foot and get as close as possible and hear all the noises. But that's for the future, if there ever is one, you know. You got to live one day at a time. That's why that's popular, you know, because you never know. You have a couple people pass away in your life, and You just never know when your time is up. So when they say live one day at a time, boy, they mean it. Okay, well, the pedestrians are moving, so that means I'll be moving here too. We're gonna be quiet and hear the rumble of the bridge. Here we go. Some more regentrification. Okay, so this homeless camp that I'm going to today is right across the bridge. So you've seen how fast we got from civilization? Well, it's probably less than a mile from civilization to a third world. Yeah, I wouldn't come over here, but it's making the news. So if it's in the news, well, it's got to mean something. But when I found out it's right off of Park Street, which Park Street turns into 29th Street for some reason. And yeah, so we're going to go right over this overpass. We're going to drive by it. Now I can roll the windows up a little bit. That's better. But I still want to keep one window down just for the ambiance. Now look at this air. You can see it. It is a smoggy, foggy day in the bay. That's Oakland over there, and you can barely see Oakland. So, yeah, not a good day to fly the drone, actually. So if I don't get the drone in the air, well, it'll be all right with me, I guess. I'll get it on another day. Okay, we're going to go straight here. Actually, there's 2 lanes. So right past over there where the BART tracks are. I don't know if you can see the BART tracks yet. But right across this little street here is going to be what's in the news. Right across the railroad track. So I'm warning you with peace and love here. I'm going to actually... Oh, great. The train is coming out right now. So anyway, I gotta just pause this video or I'll get a copyright right now. Or no, I'll just keep talking because of the train. But usually YouTube does not want to see you play other people's music. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Can you quit playing that music? It's a red light, red light. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Can you hear me? Not that music. Let's go, let's go. All right, here we go. Where is that music coming from? I don't want to hear it anymore. But there's where all the trash is, right there. I'm trying to get that music away from me because I don't want to copyright. But right here in this lot, we're going to turn. And this is where I want to get the drone out. And it's already had a couple fires. So there's 4 schools around here. Here's all that trash. Yeah, look at it. So there's 4 schools around here. Why can't I walk this? But like I said, I have my drone in the car. So I have to keep talking because this guy's music is really ruining it. But look at all that trash. There's 4 schools and 1 learning center here. So that music could mess with this video. I don't know. But look at that building's already collapsed. And oh my goodness. So yeah, this is a good... Hold on. BART just came. And here's all the cars. So there's a good shot. So here's one of those schools right across the street from all these RVs. All right, well, I'm going to keep this selfie stick close to the vest here. And let's go do a little driving around here. I thought I would get out of the car, but like I said, I have the drone. So let's just keep cruising along here. So each side of the street, look at, there's a burnout car right there. Oh, you see that guy has his plumbing. It's almost worth taking 2 trips around the block here. But there's their services. You know, they have to always live around services. So I'm going to turn around right here and try to get one more peek of that block. You just got to be careful driving in Oakland. Okay. So it looks like I can drive a little slower here. But here's where it begins. There's someone's house, that tent. He's sitting out front. So I almost, look at, they have trash services here. Or somebody has trash cans, so I wonder if they come pick up the trash. I would like to park right there. Here's where that thing was burnt out. You see that trailer got burnt out. So yeah, all this is by that lot. That's somebody's home right there. It looks like a dump, but no. So some of these trailers are clean, and some of them are just filthy. And some of them spill out into the street. I almost veered off the road here. But here is the building that's, oh, it's totally accessible. Wow. Look at that lot. Look at it. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna actually try to get the drone in the air. This is just too good of a spot not to film. I'm already over here. And let's go find a spot right over here. There's the lot I want to film. So now it's about finding a safe space, as they say. And that's easier said than done. So I'm going to turn right here. Yeah, see, that's the problem with having a drone in your car and being in Oakland. But I did see a space right over here. I'm going into Food Max and Ross, but right behind here, like I said, only if it's safe. I wish I could get into that self-storage. But right over here, not the laundromat. You want to stay away from that. Back here. So let's just go back here and see if it's safe enough to fly the drone. But I did see parking spaces back here. So what we'll do is we'll sit in the car for a minute. Like here's the parking spots I saw on Google Earth. So I'll park right here and people will think I'm part of the crew, I guess. All right, let's try to get that drone in the air. Try. Let's go.
Goodrich.
Good evening. Complaints against a large abandoned lot in Oakland's Fruitvale district are piling up, just like the mountains of trash that have been illegally dumped there. Neighbors and city officials say the homeless have taken over the property, and firefighters have responded to multiple fires there. The lot is located at the corner of East 12th Street and 29th Avenue, a very busy intersection surrounded by 4 schools and a child care center. And educators and parents tell our Daw Lynn they are fed up that nothing's being done about the site.
A refrigerator, a stripped down truck, construction debris. I mean, the trash here is just massive in this lot. All the schools, the parents, teachers, students, no one is happy about this. Even the property owner says he's upset, but he claims he's not allowed to clean up his own property. Neighbors say the trash has been piling up here for the last 2 years, but it's gotten significantly worse in recent months.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 schools in the vicinity of this trash pile, and no one cares. This is supposed to be normal for us.
There are roughly 1,000 kids who attend the 4 schools and a child care center. Diosa Diaz is a social worker and educator at International Community School, better known as ICS Elementary, across the street from the abandoned lot.
Extremely angry every single day that I drive by this. We have children that walk past here every day to come to school.
Diosa and the other schools tell me they had to go on lockdowns because of large fires and police activity at this site. The Oakland Fire Department put out multiple fires at this property in recent years. They say this fire, likely started by the homeless, destroyed the building in October 2023. They say people are still living in the building that is still standing.
I've gotten notifications the school's on lockdown for XY reason, so it's like it's concerning.
Karina Flores says she's always worried about her kids' safety. Her 5-year-old daughter attends ICS, and her twin boys go to the child care center next door.
Me or my mom personally pick them up from each class and then get in the car and leave.
Educators and parents say this lot is a reflection of what's happening on East 12th Street. There are multiple large encampments in this 1-mile stretch. They say in a recent safety meeting between the schools and the city officials, the city said because this is a private lot, they can't do anything about it.
It's scary. I feel like we teach and we support children in an apocalyptic society. And this is our view every day.
Over the phone, the property owner tells me he's in a court battle with his lender. He says the Alameda County Superior Court and the U.S. District Court in San Francisco placed an injunction to prevent him from entering or managing the lot. He could not send the court documents to me in time for this broadcast, but he tells me he too is angry and feels badly about the situation. He says the legal dispute has dragged on for several years. In the meantime, students and educators like Diosa are dealing with the consequences.
I know they do their darndest, but they need to do better.
I contacted the city about this, but did not hear back from them. I want to ask them why not clean the site up first and then send the bill to the property owner like they routinely do for blighted properties. Yes, the legal dispute makes it a little more complicated, but with no resolution in sight for this ongoing court battle, neighbors say the city has to do something about this.
Okay, I'm at this little spot. Like I told you, I got the drone right here in my hand. I see it right there blinking. So we're going to take off right now from the car. So here we go. You ready? Here we go. We're going to push this, take off. And that thing's going to start up.
Home point updated.
Okay. I got to put this camera down and go fly this drone. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that I found a safe place to fly the drone in Oakland. That's right, nobody should spot me here. I'm right next to the self-storage place and not a lot of traffic behind the Food Max grocery store. So what we're doing here today is safely finding a place to fly the drone where there is no safety. In Oakland, people can definitely pull up and just take whatever you have. Mostly your wallet and cell phone is the choice of the day. But they'll take a drone, guaranteed. But here's what we're looking at. This was in the news. So something like this always draws my attention when it's in the news. And it's amazing that the BART trains roll back and forth all day long, and you look out your window and see this. Sometimes I wonder if they keep this stuff there to keep us scared, to keep society in check, that keep going to work or this could be you. You never know if this could be you. All it takes is one lost job or one divorce or one health scare, or one addiction, or two addictions, or even more. It's not a hard life to live underneath a house with plumbing and electricity, but it is a hard life to go gather your own water and live with no electricity. I don't think the average citizen would last very long without drugs or alcohol to stay numb to this condition that they live in. And I say they as they're another species, but they are humans and need compassion. But with compassion comes consequences, so you just can't give a man a fish, you have to teach a man to fish. So with that, I don't think we are doing ourselves any good by giving monthly supplements and free phones. I think everybody should work, even though there is no work. There's always something to be done. But when you have time on your hands, well, I do believe that what they say is idle hands are the devil's time. That's right. The devil can do a lot of bad things when you have no time to do nothing. So, if this is your first trip to California, it's really amazing that right next to all these homeless people are containers of people's belongings that quite possibly they could have got kicked out of their home. So when you're homeless, you got to put your furniture somewhere, so you might even pay a storage fee somewhere. In the worst case scenario, you might have all your stuff on that RV. You can see that RV has been burnt out, and the tent next to it, well, that was probably the person living in that RV. You see what happens with the homeless community when they get in fights with each other is they call them burnouts, and they just burn each other's property down. So whenever you come across the burn up homeless camp, it's not because they were cooking or trying to stay warm. It's most likely a dispute where they burn each other's homes down. What a sad society where we have the unfortunate living with the mentally ill. Back in the day, not too long ago, we had mental hospitals where a lot of people would either go to these hospitals and get better, or they would stay in these hospitals and live with other insane asylum residents. But nowadays, we got compassion for just about everybody, and right next to this school, well, the compassion is right outside their front door. You see, this guy on this side of this street decided to get away from the other side of the street, and you can see that little blue tank right outside his RV. Well, that's where all his poop goes. So just imagine that's where your poop goes, and after a while he'll pull that somewhere and go flush it down a storm drain or something. The reason I say that is I've seen it with my own eyes. The human waste goes right down the storm drain. I don't know why the fish are dying in our oceans. But that's correct. There are 4 schools and 1 learning center surrounding this open air dump. And it's just amazing that the city of Oakland has passengers pass by this every day when you would think that they'd want to keep this hidden from the public. But nope, right on this main drag, as far as you can see, are people that are unfortunately, I guess the word of the day is unhoused. It is funny how we keep changing the vocabulary from this or that or to the other. Whatever the flavor of the day is, that's the word. Used to be illegal aliens. Now it's asylum seekers. You can't even call them undocumented migrants. Now they're asylum seekers. So you wonder how many people living in these RVs are asylum seekers. Or a lot of them, I know for a fact, are Oakland residents that have been pushed out of their apartments by asylum seekers. But I don't know. It's a sad day when you have people fighting for cheap rent. And I don't even think you can find cheap rent anymore. That is somebody's house right there. I didn't even notice it until I zoomed in and I saw him walking around. So there are a couple of houses on this dump property. There's one right there. And there's a burned up house. There's a structure that was burned up. But somebody does own this property, and they are paying taxes to the city of Oakland. And the homeless have already burnt up one building on that property. This man on the loading dock was just sitting there, minding his own business, pondering his life, as they say. So there are people living in that building. I know that because I watch the news. So if you think it's just a random open building, nope, there are people living in there. I mean, why wouldn't you? There's a roof over it. Right here, I got a little close to that tree, and boy, did I get lucky. Wouldn't that make a great video to get my drone stuck in a homeless camp tree? Gotta stay up high, or I'm gonna end up low. And this is no drone you wanna lose. Well, this guy carrying a water bucket caught my eye. So here is a good example of how life is so hard. You gotta walk your water through mountains of trash and even stop and find something. He picked something up and then dropped it. So everything's valuable here. So he's got about a 5-gallon jug of water. And I was wondering, where are you going? Well, he's going right to home. You need water to live, and, well, there you go, right inside. What is that he's living in? It's an old van. So, just next time you go to your water faucet or flush your toilet, just think of this poor guy that come all the way from south of the border, living in a van. Now I wonder if he ever regrets coming all the way from Venezuela or any of those other, because I see a lot of them without jobs in front of Home Depot. Not a lot of people working and hiring. So, I guess it's hard to go home when you made it all the way to America. It must be that way about people that go to Hollywood seeking fame and fortune, but It's just hard to go home. So unfortunately, these people aren't going anywhere. The city of Oakland says, take over a whole street, take over empty buildings, take over parks. Go ahead and just dump your trash where you like. Now you got to remember that a lot of these people do not have trash services. So that's why there's so much trash. Just think about all the trash you use. So have a little compassion. Remember, people are people, and how everybody ends up on different levels is beyond me. I just think it's hard for this world to have people living this way when America used to be not this way. I never remember it being this bad. So I don't know if one man can change it, but I know that our attitudes can change if we're just grateful for everything we have. So I hope you are grateful after watching these videos. Like I've said before, there's only so many of these videos I can make because it just affects me. I used to make a lot more of these, but now it's just a little harder. But I know this is what you guys like, and this is what gets all the views, is the destruction of society. Well, that's about it for me. I know this is probably a little long video, but I've been making long videos, short videos. I don't know what is just right anymore for the right video. But I know that this building is going to change because it can't get any worse. Look at that. I would say that's probably a good 3 or 4 acres of trash. So it's not going to be cheap to clean, that's for sure. I don't know. I think it's probably better off that they burned it down, I guess. But I guess you shouldn't want that because next door is all that. And you wouldn't want to see all this stuff go up in flames, especially the people living in the campers. I don't know how many people are here that are clean and sober, but like I've said before, it would be hard to stay clean and sober and not be numb when you live in these conditions. There's the one little camp that I see right there to your right. He's even got it fenced in. So a lot of these people that come from south of the border, they probably lived in shacks like this there. I sure wish I had one of those little selfie go inside drones. But look at, there's 3 shacks there. There's that one right there to your left and the guy's van. So that's somebody's home. He just built a little... I wonder what it's like in there. I would be curious to go in there and see somebody's living conditions. But like I said, I better just stick with the drone view. That will really affect me. Well, like I said 5 minutes ago, this video is getting a little long, and I don't really know how long or short to make them. I just like to get out and see the news and what's in it and make a little news. Well, there's Oakland in the smog and the fog and all the rest of it. And before I end this video, I wanted to show you this art house. Now, I think this is the way you spell house, maybe in Swedish or something, but the art house, I kind of zoomed in to see if there was something I can see, but I think that's probably where they make art. So it is I guess the right word is it's just opposites, to have people who make fancy art for rich people next to not so rich people. Now, all that stuff on the ground is staining a lot of stuff, so a lot of biohazards with this. There's that man's shack. One man's shack is another man's trash, is another man's shelter. So if you're in a tent, I bet you wish you had a shack like that. See, when you have a shack like that, no one can really run you off. This is something you built on your own. The tent, well, the police just come by and say, "Move it along, sir." So I guess it's better to have something a little more strong and stable, if there is such a thing. Now I think this video's got to be getting done, because I don't see any much more to see here, but probably just the surroundings of where it's at and how long it is, just for, I would say, at least a mile. I don't like it any more than you do. It's just one of those things that I don't see any way out of it, no matter who's in office. I mean, unless we start getting tough on crime, where people say you can't just lock up people anymore. You can't put them in jails. You can't put them in mental hospitals. Well, where do we put them? We can't have a society where you have 4 schools. What's this do to the kids where they got to walk by this every day? I don't know. It just amazes me that we're so lenient and soft on criminals. Before, you couldn't just park your car like this and dump your waste. You would get a ticket, and if you got more than a couple tickets, well, guess what? You go to jail, but there's consequences. Not anymore. I think the police are afraid to do anything now. There's a thing called FIDO, that the police use that term, FIDO, and it's forget it and drive on. I'd like to use the other word, F it, and drive on. However you want to put it, it's just drive on and let these people do what they want. Because as soon as a cop or a policeman get involved, well, they usually get sued and are called racist. And so they just collect their money and get a paycheck and move along. Why wouldn't you? I just don't get it at all. But anyway, I've said that about 4 times in this video. Well, I'll chase this BART train one more time. A lot of people don't feel safe on that train anymore. You get a couple people that get pushed in front of the train, and now no one wants to ride it. Okay, well, this is the end, and I always want to thank you for coming along with me on these homeless camp taking over a whole building adventures here in Oakland, California, behind Ross. This was a good place to fly because I stayed in my car. That's the first time I actually flew from inside the car, which is kind of nice. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.
People who have been living at a North Bay encampment are staring down even more uncertainty. In a matter of days, their encampment is getting shut down and cleared out. A landmark Supreme Court ruling in June led to Governor Newsom ordering sweeps across the state. And since that executive order, we have seen crews clearing encampments in San Francisco, where in October, the city reported its tent count was down 60%, hitting its lowest level since 2017.
And also across the East Bay, there have been encampment sweeps in Oakland and Berkeley. And last week, Santa Clara County's main water agency voted to ban camping near most rivers, creeks, and waterways. Now, the city of Napa is taking steps to clear out an encampment at Kennedy Park. People there are being asked to move to a fenced area nearby starting next week. Andrea Nakano visited that encampment today and spoke to people who will be forced to leave.
Two things really kickstarted this effort to remove the encampments here at Kennedy Park. One was a Supreme Court decision which gave leaders the ability to do so. The other is a $15 million state grant to clear encampments and offer additional services. The residents, though, are nervous about having to make another move they don't want to make.
It's like we do what we can as far as to keep that out at bay, you know.
After living on the streets for 4.5 years, Eric finally found a place to call home at Kennedy Park. He's been here for the last year.
Community of outcasts, kind of.
It's an area with about 25 separate encampments. Some have created fenced yards and built makeshift homes.
We just have our own areas and we just kind of do what we do. I mean, I don't know. We just hang out and kind of support each other and just look out for each other.
Word of the city of Napa closing the encampment has been spreading among the residents. The city says it has started helping people take their personal items to storage units in order to move them to a temporary camp just yards away on December 9th. It has also offered shelter, but people like Eric just prefer to live on their own.
I mean, I don't know. I just like my freedom, and I don't think I would feel free there. And then I'm forced to be around people that I don't like or would want to associate myself with.
Now Eric, his girlfriend, and his kitty Leroy will have to find a new place to live before the temporary camping location closes in 4 months. Eric says he wishes he was still in his home in American Canyon and had his job. For him, a divorce turned his life upside down. He feels homeless people are unfairly targeted when they have nowhere else to go.
We're homeless. We're not monsters. I mean, geez. Being portrayed out to be something that I'm not is what I don't appreciate. Because, I mean, why would you look down on somebody because they're homeless? You don't know what that person's been through in their life or why they're homeless or what their circumstances are.